Breaking news today. Minister of the Cuban Army travels to Russia following failed mutiny. To address in detail all existing and promising cooperation projects in the military sphere, the Russian defense minister suggested to his American counterpart. Cuba's Minister of the Armed Forces, Álvaro López Mira, is the first senior foreign official to visit Russia since last Saturday's tension, with the aim of discussing the realization of a series of joint projects in the technical military field. This shows that Havana's hesitation in the face of the armed rebellion of the Wagner mercenary group against Vladimir Putin does not appear to have embittered the island's alliance with the Kremlin. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu greeted López Mira at the ministry's headquarters on Tuesday, with full protocol. López Mira was dressed in a full-dress uniform reminiscent of the Soviet era and is currently worn by the Russian military. The general's trip to Moscow has not been mentioned in the Cuban media. Russian news agency Sputnik reports that Shoigu offered his counterpart to address in detail all existing and promising cooperation projects in the military field. The minister promised that Russia could help Cuba with a wide variety of issues, including providing technical assistance to the island's army. He lauded Cuba as an important partner that showed a complete understanding of the reasons that led Putin to invade Ukraine, but he didn't mention the Havana regime's careful silence amid all the tension with the Wagner troops. Shoigu summed up the state of the bilateral dialogue, saying that both sides are taking measures to protect their cooperation from external sanctions. The soldier assured López Mira that Russia is willing to provide assistance to Cuba, though Sputnik and other media that reported the visit avoided specifying the nature of that strategic assistance. To recognize López Mira's important contribution to the strengthening of military and technical military cooperation between the two countries, Putin awarded him the Order of Friendship on June 13, Prensa Latina reported. López Mira, a veteran of Cuba's military interventions in Angola and Ethiopia, was born in 1943 and has served as Minister of the Armed Forces since 2021. He is a high-ranking Cuban official who has been targeted by U.S. sanctions for his involvement in human rights violations. One of the demands initially supported by the Wagner Group and its leader, Yevgeny Prigozhin, was the resignation of Shoigu and Valery Gerasimov, head of the Russian General Staff, who were held responsible for the chaos that had ensued on the battlefront in Ukraine. Following the mercenaries' unopposed conquest of Rostov en route to Moscow, Prigozhin called off the onward push under the guise of wanting to prevent the spilling of blood. Alexander Lukashenko, president of Belarus, acted as a go-between for the Kremlin and Prigozhin, who called off the uprising 24 hours after it began. Following the dust settled, Cuban President Miguel Díaz-Canel tweeted his total conviction in Russia's ability to uphold unity and constitutional order. To that, the Cuban leader added, "I express the solidarity of the people and government of Cuba to the esteemed President Putin and the brotherly people of the Russian Federation, in the face of attempts to provoke an armed rebellion in the nation." While the government press was slow to report the rebellion, Cuban Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez did so, and he did so in full agreement with the version of state media such as Russia Today. Russia's other regional allies, including Venezuela and Nicaragua, quickly issued statements in support of Moscow. Daniel Ortega said his government will be always aware of what is happening in Russia and with the brother president, comrade Vladimir Putin, while Nicolas Maduro extended an arm of solidarity and support to Putin at a military event.